3, 2,
6, 12,
10, 15. Oh, hey guys, what is up? Welcome back to the Spectator podcast, your favorite gaming podcast where we do nothing but act a fool, be silly, and have fun. But also, we talk about the real stuff here. I'm Keith Mitchell, and that guy in the middle is Scott.
Howdy. Hopefully, it's not too wet over where you guys are at.
No, it's hot as hell, actually. It's like 80 degrees.
It's okay. I just have a drench downpour going on here.
Talking about hot. How hot is it there, Karl?
probably not that much because we're heading towards winter. If you give me a second, I'll be able to bloody tell you.
See, so he's in Australia, so we're heading towards summer, and he's going towards winter.
Yeah.
So when we were complaining that it was cold, he was like, "It's hot," and now it's the complete opposite.
It is currently 10 degrees centigrade here, so it's whatever that is in American freedom units.
So does that prove that disprove the theory that the Earth is flat for all you flat people out there? Flatters, whatever you call those people, whatever. Like I said, we have fun here.
50 degrees Fahrenheit for you.
That's too cold.
Who,
no, I'm good. I'll take my easy brother.
and yet, here we go. Let's see if we can.
What are you doing? Are we?
It's nice and sunny outside.
No, it's dark. It's dark now. It's true that it's pretty dark here. So we got a couple things we do want to talk about here. Some good, some bad, some sad, and some definitely mad. But before we do that, a particular game came out today, which took years to be developed for Xbox, Hellblade 2. And of course, that has set the internet on fire because some people like it, some people don't like it. There's the Xbox hacks. And guys, I just want to say this. If you haven't played the game, stop trying to trash a game. And that applies to any game. If you haven't played the game, or certain developers, you know who you are, who said they played the game for 15 minutes and didn't like it, how would you like if somebody had played your game back in the day for 15 minutes and then you got all pissy saying, well, 15 minutes is not enough time for you to play my games? Have some respect and some courtesy, my dude. Come on now. Anyway.
But no, look, to be honest, that game's getting heavily hit with the Xbox tax, man.
Yeah, it is. Holy crap.
Like, I'm sorry, but this once again, we almost bring it up every time on the damn show. The tribalism, man, this tribalism BS has got to end. You know, all the people on the Sony side, it's an Xbox game, it doesn't play properly, it's not good. Anybody who's finding anything to rag on this game, right? I saw somebody, you know how you do the frames, like people do run a
the frames counters,
like frame counter with the little graph that goes up and down. Somebody found it where it took a major dip. It dipped into I think it was about 17 frames or something. Posted that particular screenshot and said, "This is what Xbox made in 5 years. It doesn't even run properly on the Xbox Series X." I'm like, dude, just chill. Does the game play? Do you have fun with it?
Well, that's the thing.
When you push the buttons, do they do the thing on screen? Then that's all that matters. If it drops to a 17 frame rate during one scene in the entire game, oh my God, you could just give up that 0.3 seconds of your life.
I mean, like you said, I'm not here to defend the game, but the Xbox tax is real. It's real. Oh my God.
I'm just saying.
It doesn't help too that Ninja Theory also has their own kind of tax. Ever since the DMC reboot, they've had a lot of people go after every game they've ever made.
Yeah.
Hellblade 1 even had it too. Like they had the same score as the first Hellblade.
But I'm seeing people go, "Oh, this game is just like a story." I'm like, "Did you play the first one?"
It's just like the first one.
Like the first game. I mean, if you played the first game or heard about the first game, this is going to be like the first game with some differences. I don't understand how you got upset about this, or the fact that it was just on the Xbox, or the fact that, oh, it's 30 frames per second. Come on, guys. You knew about this for months. Just stop. Stop. We don't need this. It's a game. Play the game. Have fun. If you don't like the game, fantastic. Let other people play their game. It's kind of like repetitive. We keep saying this stuff here.
Mind you, Ninja Theory didn't do themselves any favors by putting out a thank you post that read we're going to shut down.
Oh, yeah.
They put it it's funny because those posts are generally used for usually bad news of, hey, our game's being delayed, or hey, we are got to take another bit of time before we can announce this going
They were
on.
trolling. They were completely trolling. They were definitely trolling.
Yeah, so a lot of people took that completely the wrong way.
Yeah, the amount of people that saw that and just went, "Oh my god, Ninja Theory shutting down. We're going to lose another studio. Microsoft curse continues." It's just like,
I mean, it's possible Ninja Theory gets shut down, but I don't think right now it's a likely thing.
I believe that there was an announcement or something that Microsoft's already greenlit Ninja Theory's next game.
Their next project's been greenlit since
before
Hellblade 2. This thing's been a while another thing that's been in a while. They're one of the teams that have multiple projects on at once.
Yeah, because
there's a mysterious greenlight project. Because they have like 3 projects greenlit at once. So
it's not like they've only ever had Hellblade. They've done a bunch of different games. Remember that what was that one game? I'm trying to remember now. It was that sports multiplayer game that didn't do too well. What the heck was that game? I used to play it a lot. My old brain. God, what's that name? Help me out here, guys. What is the name of that game?
Try to think.
Trying to
Bleeding
think.
Edge.
Bleeding Edge. Yes.
Back in 2020. That didn't do well, but they had that. They also worked on Infinity back in the day. Of course, DMC. We all remember DMC.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, Infinity is also dead. But Enslaved was all right. Heavenly Sword was
good. It was good for one of the first games to come out on PS3.
Yeah.
For the first PS3 game, like quite literally, this was the one that came out the same day amongst a very small smattering of games.
For those of you who remember the PS3 launch period, it was pretty. It was dry.
It was abysmal. It was abysmal, man. Like
you got Heavenly Sword and Genji Dawn of the Blade. Choose your.
Pretty much.
But I don't want to dwell on this. Just
But I'll even say this. I'll even defend DMC a little bit.
Yeah,
like it plays really well.
Really
it captures the spirit. It's just that the story that they went with was absolutely horrible.
Can you say trash? Just say trash.
No, it wasn't trash. It was slightly above trash.
Slightly better than trash.
Slightly better
but it
than
definitely
trash,
had
but
its
not much.
like
It's
the levels and the stages was definitely fun. I think that was like the DMC gameplay itself was pretty darn good.
Yeah, and I think if they didn't put right in the opening bit where he disses the look of Dante,
disses Dante as Dante, and everybody's just like,
I
there's so many people that just turned the game off after the first level because of that. So a lot of the people who are giving their big complaints in the day basically saw the first level and like, this is garbage, and didn't actually unlock any of the actual gameplay combat.
Exactly.
So Ninja Theory, folks. Go play the game if you want to play the game. If you don't want to play the game, that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
I guess what my mom used to tell me, if I can't say anything nice, shut up. So
yeah, exactly. But before we move into any other bad news that we know is coming in this particular,
we got good news first. Can
we do a good news?
We got news. Good news. Good news. See, I got my ROG Ally and it's still alive.
Well, I was going to say Nintendo acquiring, what was it, Shiver Entertainment?
Shiver Entertainment from Embracer.
Shiver Members.
Yet another Embracer group has been
luckily, it's one of those things it's an acquisition that's a taking away from another acquisition.
Yeah, well, that's sort of been the whole thing, though.
But it's still an acquisition.
Embracer Group is still selling off a lot of the studios they acquired.
Yeah.
And
you said good news. You said Embracer Group.
It is good news for Nintendo. Well, Nintendo bought the company that's been doing a lot of ports for them recently. They did, what was it, Mortal Kombat 1? And
most of the Mortal Kombat ports for Switch. They did Hogwarts Legacy for Switch.
Yeah.
They did a lot of like the big third-party games on their Switch.
Yeah, so, good on Nintendo for being able to acquire a studio to help them make that port machine even more portable.
Nintendo FOMO. They couldn't be left out. We had to acquire somebody.
I don't know why they called it the Nintendo Switch. They should have just called it the Nintendo Port. because that's 90% of their library is ports.
No, don't say that. People get upset when you say that. They get loud. But
Nintendo Switch has 90% ports. It's true. It's fact. Get used to it.
Oof. So good news, Scott. You got any good news?
I do. One of my favorite game series, for those of you who don't know, has leaving the Epic Games exclusive known as Kingdom Hearts. We are finally going to get Kingdom Hearts on Steam, which means the PC community for Kingdom Hearts is about to skyrocket. The only reason I ever even really used my Epic Games account was because
a whole bunch of these are about to get sold, guys.
Yes, it is. Whole bunch of these. This is one of my main reasons for wanting it on Steam.
You know what's cheaper? These.
I have both of those.
But then you gotta go buy a PlayStation 3 if you ain't got one. So is it really cheaper?
You for like $5.
I was like, PS3s are also probably cheaper than a Steam
But you can
Deck.
play it on the go. I don't know.
The thing is I can put a lot of my PS3 games on here too.
You can do it.
Yeah, see, we got the whole emulation thing. Whatever. It's a great news that more games are getting away from the Epic Game Store and their whole exclusivity nonsense. That
I can put
that.
Oh man, rip
PS3
That's beautiful.
Rip.
So
Rip.
You can play Birth by Sleep on that and Chain
Rip
of
the
Memory.
dream. Man.
See, old school tech. This is where it's at, man.
So I'm really excited about that. The PC community for Kingdom Hearts is already pretty big, especially in its modding community.
Yeah,
it's probably the most modded Epic Games game on Epic Games. Just because it's the only place you can get Epic Game. It's the only place you can get Kingdom Hearts right now on PC is on Epic Games. But now that it's on Steam, that means its community is about to probably double, if not like triple.
I was about to say, or you can
how
emulate
active it is.
But yeah, so now you can actually get it good. So
yeah,
I haven't actually played Kingdom Hearts on the PC. Is it any better?
The Epic? So the PC
console?
version is good, but the problem is Epic Games Launcher has a stupid online DRM with it. So that's one of the reasons why you can't play it on Steam Deck. Sure, you can get all the like files installed and use like the Proton and emulators to make it like register like Windows application, but once you try to get on it, it's just like, sorry, Epic's isn't here, and it's just like, well, never mind. I apparently can't play my own game that I have.
Yeah, Epic Game Store. Let's not talk about the Game Store. Epic Game Store.
But I mean, you can play it on the ROG Ally if you know how to basically change settings, because they don't have an auto detect like Steam does. Another reason why Steam is superior.
Steam superior, Epic Store inferior.
Oh, here we go. They got Soundwave in here. There we go. And
it's not a bad word.
And other news, we got a fantastic trailer for the upcoming Elden Ring DLC, Erdtree. And once Bandai Namco was like, "Hey, we got a trailer dropping," the entire Souls community was like, everybody was like, "Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god!" And I'm like, "All right, guys, here's the trailer." And we got so many people making lore videos. I'm like, dude, how did you get all this lore from this 3-minute trailer? Like,
there's already people like putting it as their game of the year contender just because of the trailer. Too.
This is why I can't compete with these people. It's like, dude, what the hell? It's just what? And yes, I've seen one person go, "This is gonna be my game of the year." I'm like, dude, it's DLC.
It's a 3-minute trailer for DLC. Sure, it's going to be more Elden Ring, but you don't know if it's good or not.
It's Elden Ring. It's Elden Ring. It's going to be good. It's going to be good.
If there's any trailer we should be talking about, Keith, I know you and I will probably be excited for this one, but NBA Superstars.
Oh, I talked about it on the site. Holy crap! I am super excited about NBA Superstars. I am a little upset because it's just an arcade game, and arcades are still a dying breed in this country unless you go to Dave and Buster, which is or Round One, which is turning into more of a redemption place. But they do get a lot of raw thrills games, and seeing how this has it is a spiritual successor to NBA Jam. I'm happy. I'm really happy.
They got the guy who did the narrative voice of NBA Jam.
That's fantastic.
Man. Like that's cool, and they've got the over the top dunks. They've got the they call it superstar mode, but it's just being on fire and all that type of stuff.
NBA Jam,
and you got all 30 teams, 120 odd players to choose from, and
oh my god,
like you, I saw it. I'm like, yes, finally a really good. We might actually get a good success at NBA Jam that we haven't had since like the PS fucking 3. And
like NBA Street.
No, we had NBA Playgrounds a couple years ago, which was
Playgrounds was trash.
It was if you were thirsty in a desert. Okay, this is okay.
If you could choose the normal NBA 2K or no Playgrounds.
But what also really excites me is the fact that Raw Thrills usually puts in a lot of effort on their arcade machines, and this arcade machine, being a tech guy, is really sexy.
Amazing.
75-inch TV. They've got an animated marquee at top that displays things. 4 player slots. It looks amazing. They said summer 2024, so I'll be calling around all my Dave and Buster like, you got this machine? Okay, I'm coming down to see it. Let's go.
Keith's like, how do I take it home? Just goes and puts an arcade, puts the NBA Superstars arcade.
Oh man,
you watch summer 2024. It'll be in that background.
It's just one game. I mean, if I could, I don't know. Oh, but it looks so good.
I just wish that they would have gone. Yeah, we're going to put this out on arcade, but we're also going to bring it out on like Xbox and PS5 because their stuff can be translated to console.
It probably will be at a later date.
They put out the Turtles one that they had in the arcade. That was Raw Thrills. I've got to see the background over there. What the fuck is it called?
Was that the one that came out recently
or whatever?
Yeah, 1 sec.
Where's he going?
He's going to go find the game he's talking about.
Find the game because I can't remember the goddamn title. There's one.
Wrath of the Mutants. Okay.
Oh, look, I just said that. You could have asked me.
I don't ask you for anything much.
Wow. Wrath of the Mutants. I didn't hear good things about that game, though.
It is exceptionally short. Like this was on. I think this only cost me $30 Australian, and that was on release.
Oh, jeez.
It's got like five levels maximum, and they're pretty simple to get through.
Versus Teenage
I'm still happy to. Yeah.
So it's not quite Shredder's Revenge level.
It's not. Look, it would be another one that if we could get 4 people together to play this all at the same time, we would have a blast. But it wouldn't last as long as Shredder's Revenge.
Yeah.
That lasted quite a long time. Holy crap.
Did.
It didn't last quite as long when we played the DLC. I said I didn't like the DLC. It wasn't.
That was because by then we worked out how to break the game.
It wasn't really that much fun. It was like, You just only added a couple characters and added modifiers. Give us new levels and bosses. Give us that. I wanted that. And it was okay. Yeah. It was okay. It was all right. It wasn't the best. Regardless, NBA Superstars Summer 2024. If you got arcade near you, definitely go check it out. If you're an NBA fan, definitely go check it out. Though I am perplexed. It's a 3-versus-3 basketball game. Yeah. So is it 3-versus-3? Like, can you connect to other people in other arcades? Because that'd be cool. Also, why is there 4 slots on there if it's 3-versus-3?
Because a 6-player cabinet is hell to make. Remember, what was it? X-Men by Konami back in the day. That thing was like 8 players or something.
Oh my god, that was
a
the dream,
massive machine.
That was the dream. Every kid played that. Was like, oh my god, I loved it. I loved it.
That was the machine we wanted at home.
that was a widescreen game before because it had to run on 2 monitors when you ran 8 players. Like
I think it came after Ninja Warriors. Remember Ninja Warriors? I think Ninja Warriors came out first. He remembers it. Yeah.
Yeah, we there's like gray in our beards is there for a reason, people.
That's another arcade machine. I wish I could have this at my house. Oh, Ninja Warriors was the game.
You and I are like we just want an arcade machine in our houses.
I got the room for it now, but it's like, hey guys,
so do I.
Let's do it. Oh, I ain't got the money though.
I haven't got the $2.5 grand. It costs.
Yeah, I ain't got the money. Machine. I don't have the money. So yeah, there's that. What was the other thing I was going to say to you real quick about that? I guess nothing. Yeah, just look for it when it comes out summer 2024. I definitely will be. I don't want to talk about the bad news just yet. We're not talking about bad news, guys. We're not talking about bad news.
Still in the good news sections.
But here's something I do want to talk about. So we didn't have the Spectator Mode podcast last week. So last week, or was it maybe a little bit before last week, Asus, how are you going to pronounce it, revealed its ROG Ally X, which is an upgraded version of the ROG Ally. And Scott and I didn't get a chance to talk about that yet. So there's not a lot of stuff that we know about it. We do know it will have extra memory. That amount is not confirmed. It will have the same screen as the ROG Ally, same processor as ROG Ally, better joysticks, better buttons. They said a bigger battery.
They said a bigger battery by up to 30%, whatever that means.
It doesn't say much, if anything, on that.
No, it's not a specific number.
It will be more expensive. I mean,
yes.
And that's pretty much it. But being that we're big fans of the handheld mobile game space, what do you think about it?
Honestly, I feel like they should have done more if they wanted it to be like a more expensive handheld device, especially with given what we're hearing about like different specs and rumors of it's like it's still using the same chipset. It's just going to be basically having everything else better suited. But at the same time, one thing that really makes me excited is they're trying to fix for the SD card placement, as well as they're going to change the motherboard and CPU placement so that it doesn't actually, overheat the SD card.
Yeah, basically, hey guys, we're tired of this nonsense. We'll change it finally, because they still never admitted there was a problem.
They never wanted to admit the problem, but them fixing the problem in the next iteration, I feel like should be a little bit of a silent surrender.
But the thing that really bothers me is, again, the price. People are speculating it's going to be around $800, and I think so as well.
Yeah.
Considering this one, the ROG Ally was $699 when it first came out, so another $100 for better joysticks, better or more a rearranged motherboard, more memory. Some people are saying 24 gigs. I'm like, 24 gigs is holy crap.
I don't know if it's going to have that.
Yeah,
much
I mean, if you're adding that much memory onto a CPU GPU that has not changed, which is the AMD Ryzen Z1 Extreme. Why?
It's not really gonna add a whole lot.
It's not gonna do anything. It's literally not going to do anything. So it's like, why would you do that?
Yeah, there's really no point unless they're having like unless they're planning on adding a different chip to it, but they're not. So,
and it's like, is this the stopgap? Are we getting stopgaps for these things now? Because they're going to give us a 2, so it's like,
obviously they're going to do another iteration. It's just whether this is like their version of like a mid-gen refresh.
We learned we're fixing this. We're going to sell this and get rid of the one that has the busted issues with the USB micro card, so it won't burn on you. That's it. Like I guess, but I do like the fact that we're getting a brand new version of the what is the software called again?
Armory Crate.
The Armory Crate is an updated version. It looks better. I like the features.
It does look better, yeah. So I do appreciate that, but I also don't think it's going to necessarily be worth it unless you really need an upgrade to your ROG Ally. This isn't going to be selling new ROG Allies. I don't think this is going to be the thing they sell people on it.
If they just had made the screen a little bigger, look what the Steam Deck did. It was like what? It's like what, 7.7 now, or it's a little bigger. And OLED. If you had done
screen
that,
would have been great.
Done. But I would have bought it. I would have sold this, bought it. But this, no. This is basically for people who have not bought the ROG Ally yet and are thinking about it with a better Armory Crate and a better experience. Then yes.
I mean, it's probably better to get this one than to get the cheaper version of it too. They still have the not extreme one, and that one apparently is
it's garbage. It's
don't
garbage.
get it.
Don't buy it.
Just don't get it.
Don't buy it. It's like
that's one of the most useless iterations of. It is the most useless iteration.
The
it's
better
cheap,
processor,
but you might as well just get the Steam Deck.
It's like get the better processor or the lesser processor. Like, why would you buy the lesser? And see, this is why people have problems with PC gaming, because companies do things like this.
Yes.
When you buy the Steam Deck, there is no variations of the GPU or CPU. It is this version. And that is it. When you buy this, it's like, oh, hey, by the way, we're going to give you 2 different versions. And the same thing with, you know what? We're going to talk about that for a second. Give me a second. Same thing with the Legion Go. It's one variant.
Uh-huh.
But we got the MSI Claw.
Yeah.
Which is not reviewing well whatsoever.
No, which, I mean, it is Intel's first foray into, like, the mobile chips, so... Hooray. I was interested in seeing how it portrayed differently, but yeah, apparently it was not a good chip.
No, it's and the problem that I'm seeing again is what I just mentioned is they have 2 different versions of the chip, and I think, correct me if I'm wrong, a lot of people that reviewed it on the lesser version. Not that it made a difference. They're saying battery's not good.
Do well.
Yeah, the body's not well. It's
basically a chip that requires a lot of energy and power with a thing that's basically not supposed to have a lot of energy or power.
That doesn't sound like it works very well, does it?
If you're making a PC, acknowledge how much power your PC needs.
Now, the only thing I have to say is I've been looking at, back up. There's like 2 or 3 written reviews. And then I've seen a bunch of reviews on YouTube.
There's a lot of YouTube ones, but yeah, there's not a lot of written ones.
And it just seems like they are, some of the YouTube ones are like, it's okay. No, it's terrible. But all the written ones are like, no, this is terrible. Stay away from it.
Just get any of the other handheld options.
And the fact that it's $7.99, it's like, why would you buy?
It's not worth it.
Why would you? And I'm all for saying, hey, this may need some time to bake. I'm more than happy to say that. But the problem is when you're charging people $800, you should expect them like, well, look, $800 and it's not ready to go. This is kind of a problem. There's the same thing that people have issues with the Legion Go. And it still isn't ready. I still have a Legion Go. I bought again. I bought it again. It's gonna go back again. I was hoping all the updates they did would fix it.
Yeah, no. Yeah, you're just gonna have to go sell it again and get the next ROG Ally. No,
I'm taking it right back to Best Buy. I can still take it back. I'm like, no, they're gonna go, you bought this again. Shut up.
I know.
Shut up.
Yeah,
I was hoping they
the Legion Go isn't yet ready. The ROG Ally's only been as good as it is because it has so much support from Asus's side with all of their kind of changes and regulations and stuff with the Armory crate. But otherwise, Windows 11 is still such a hard OS to have anything for.
Windows 11 sucks.
Yeah,
it sucks for a gaming system. It just
they had an update where you can now have a thing that says, "Oh, we notice your screen is smaller. Do you want to have a smaller Windows 11 experience?" But that doesn't actually change much except for just the resolution. So they acknowledge that there's handheld Windows 11 PCs out there. They just aren't going to do anything but that.
It's terrible. It's terrible. That's all I got to say. It's terrible. I'm going to keep saying it's terrible. What's it going to say?
Wow.
Karl.
Things are terrible. Wow. I get 1,000,001 handheld gaming rigs so that I can play stuff up. Meanwhile, Australia can't get shit.
Anyway, I was going to ask you about the Transformers since I was supposed to go see it and I didn't go see it. But you saw it. What did you think about it?
Yes.
Okay.
All right. Move on to the next.
No. Look, I surprisingly, I was lucky. I got to go to what was classed as a VIP screening last week that was basically sponsored by Hasbro. Part of the event was they had standees there you take photos with. You got little bits and bonuses in a goodie bag. I got a poster from the event plus where'd he go? There we go. And I got this such. A lot of people brought their own toys to display as part of the event that were put behind a glass cabinet and locked throughout the screening. Somebody was crazy enough to bring a HasLab Unicron. For those who don't know what that is,
no way. I wouldn't have bought that.
It's the Unicron, the big monster planet from the movie. That cost was like about $700-800 when it first came out. That thing is now worth probably $2,000 plus on the secondhand market, and a dude just brought it to display. We're like, are you fucking crazy? And obviously, yes, he was.
He was a true fan.
Oh yeah, there were people there that had some G1 stuff on display. RoboSen was there showing off their automated robot line.
Basically, that sexy Megatron, the best one out of all of them.
That new Megatron that was one of two that are currently in the country. Guess what, Keith? I get to review it.
Speak up. Can't hear you, boy.
I get to review it. Coming soon to the Outer Haven.
They got something cool. They got something cool now, see?
Yeah, so that was all bits and pieces of it. The actual reason that was there was as a part of the 40th anniversary for Transformers, which is running this year. They released the first 4 episodes in the cinema for the first time ever. Episode 1, which was Mod MCI Part 1, had a fresh table read from as many of the original actors as they could get a hold of. Obviously, some of them have passed, so obviously, unless you know necromancy, they can't come. But you had like Peter Cullen and Frank Welker, Optimus Prime and Megatron respectively, doing fresh table read of that first episode for the first time in 40 years. And they put it up as like sort of like what we're doing now, where say like the box that I'm in at the moment would show Frank Welker, and the other part where Scott and Keith are would be showing the actual episode. So they were playing the episode during the table read. You got to see all of that. The other 3 episodes were just straight off the DVD. Luckily, they used the Shout Factory DVD remasters, which were the same that were released here in Australia. They didn't use the Rhino remasters, which are known for absolutely horrible redubbing of sound effects. But other than that, like it was a great night out. The best thing was seeing, fathers and mothers bringing their kids, and the kids were all decked out in Transformers gear and everything else as well. It's one thing with these type of retro shows that the retro fans, the big hardcores, come out, but the better thing is seeing the kids, because those kids are
going.
That's it. The kids are what are going to keep the franchises going into the future, and to see them come out and see what their parents saw as kids, it is just. It was. I don't have kids myself, but I could just imagine like it would be a magical feeling for a kid to enjoy the same things that their parents do. Yeah, I know your kids
not
don't
my
enjoy
kids.
what you enjoy.
Not my kids.
Not your kids. Your kids are an exception to everything. Your kids are feral.
That's good. That's thank you.
Yeah, we talking about you. Go away.
Sign on the door. Don't come in.
Yeah. They don't read. The funny thing was though, because of the release that they used, it was the one with the commercial bumpers in it. So the Transformers will be back after these commercial messages. And the first couple of times it popped up, I heard a little kid go, "What's a commercial?"
Wow.
What's an ad break?
Oh.
And that just got me right in the age, man. Like, oh, my hips, my knees, my back. Oh, get old.
Jeez.
But it was a great event. One of the things that I found out afterwards that was exclusive to the event that I was at was that we were actually the first place in the world where we could get a hands-on with the upcoming Studio 86 Bumblebee. So the new toy it only got announced 24 hours before the event, and yet somebody was sent one to display at this event by Hasbro, and it was like I got my hands on. I got to play around with it, and I really get to piss off my Transformer collecting friends because I got to mess around with something that they only heard about 24 hours beforehand.
Karl was like,
and oh fuck yeah! I knew exactly the second I saw it. I'm like, is that actually what I think it is? And it's like, yes. Would you like to take it out of the glass case and have a mess around with it? I'm like, yes. And
Karl's like, don't worry if it disappears, it'll be in good hands.
Oh, believe me, I tried to claim it at the end of the night, and it was like, no, you can't have that. That one goes back. But what didn't go back was a couple of the standees, because they at the event they had standees of the original G1 Transformers, like the product packaging images. So I now have a Soundwave and a Optimus Prime standee sitting in my
of course you do.
other games room.
Of course you do.
Of course I do.
Not to rain on your parade, because I'm pretty sure that was amazing. I have a question for you. So was there a trailer for Transformer 1?
Yes.
1? Did you like it?
I did.
Okay.
It was a slightly longer version of the one that's currently online. About one or two little extra scenes in it, but that was it.
I don't know how I feel about that.
And that was the only trailer that I had to sit through for this thing. Unlike my friend TJ over there in Florida in the US, who had to sit through like about 15 commercial and trailers before his session started, which he complained about, which was absolutely hilarious.
I wouldn't blame him. I went to the movies the other day to go see If. If you haven't seen If, go see If. It's a great movie, good family movie, good in the feels movie. And we got there at 12:10, and we didn't get to watch the movie till 12:40.
Yeah.
Like what? Why? That doesn't make any sense.
That's the way it is in cinemas now. It's usually a solid half hour of commercials and trailers. Like from what TJ was saying, he actually put it all in a video on his YouTube channel. TJ Omega, if anybody wants to go and have a look at it. I think he said he had 2 different Transformer 1 trailers. Had one for one called The Wild Robot, and then there was advertisements for Hasbro Shop, Amazon, the comic books. Like there was like, he lists them out. There's like 15 different entries he had to go through just before he even watched what is essentially a 2-hour toy commercial in the show. But
they should have. Oh man, I you know what? I feel bad for him. That's ridiculous. Especially because you're like, I want to see what's going on. I want to see these episodes, and like, so you're gonna wait another half an hour for you can see the show. Yeah, you just sit there and wait.
Yep.
What's a commercial? This is a commercial. Sucks. It sucks.
Yeah.
I'm glad you had fun. I'm glad you had a chance to be a kid again. Looking forward to you getting your hands on the robots and stuff so you can tell us all about them.
Yep. I'm sure you'll love it when I get them.
I hope they make another one. They need another Decepticon. That'd be nice if they gave us a Starscream.
Oh, look, it was so weird. Like the robots, I've had to mess around with the Optimus, the Bumblebee, and the Grimlock previously. I got to see them earlier this year, but to get hands on with that Megatron, and then they're like, "Oh, here, watch this," and they put the Megatron and the Optimus opposite each other, and if you start up a sequence on the Megatron, and they actually have a battle, complete with like throwing like barbs at each other and stuff like that.
Somebody had mentioned that they do that, so that's actually pretty cool that they actually put all that in there. It actually plays the music too, right?
It plays the music, plays the background music, it plays a bunch of voice lines. Like it takes a mixture out of TV shows and the movie.
That's just ridiculous.
And they do it into this like choreographed fight sequence from a decent distance. But what got me was Optimus Prime is like 2-3 years old.
Yeah.
And I'm like, how far ahead have you planned these things? And the guy just looked at me and he gave me the biggest fucking smirk. I'm like, you son of a bitch.
It's like whenever
you know that there's more shit coming and you got plans. I know.
Oh yeah. Come on. You got to remember this. This is the big thing about people who do these things. You know that people at RoboCent are big fans of Transformers, obviously of robotics. They wouldn't be doing what they're doing. And if they got their hands on the Transformers franchise, please, they're going to be doing this for as long as they can have access to that franchise.
Oh yeah, and with the way that these things sell and like sell out pretty quickly, yeah, they're going to have that license for a long time.
Oh yeah, but good for them.
Yeah, good on them. But like, it was a good event. I had fun. Unfortunately, it did end on the 19th of May was the last date that they were showing anything. We don't know if this is going to be released on like YouTube or if Hasbro's got some sort of release planned for this. So if you've missed out, unfortunately, you have missed out on something magical. But maybe they'll do it again in 40 years.
I'll be dead.
They can't do that. The rest of the cast will be passed on, and yeah, we'll be almost dead. So, yeah. Good luck.
All right. Well, we've reached the end of the show. I mean, no, we haven't. We're at the part of the show we get to talk about the bad stuff. And if you don't know what we are referring to, there's been a lot of consolidation and acquisitions in the gaming industry, but today we finally got our first acquisition in the gaming journalist space with IGN picking up a bunch of websites from the Gamer Network, and all was not happy with the internet. They picked up Rock Paper Shotgun, which is a big PC gaming website that's been doing this for years. Eurogamer, VG247, Dice Breaker, and I think a couple other ones. But the problem here is, I was going to say twofold, but it's multiple fold. And guys, don't let me talk about this. I'll talk about this all freaking day. Seriously. Jump in.
I just think it sucks that this is a thing that not only just happened, but has like no pushback from any higher powers kind of a deal. Because they essentially bought out like 5 different competitors to themselves. And are now just, now IGN is an even bigger footprint on the gaming industry because it wasn't big enough for its own britches.
Yeah.
And
it goes to show that, like, say, Rupert Murdoch was to go and do this with some news sites, goes and buys out a couple of rival newspapers or websites. The FCC would be jumping down his throat.
Yeah.
Straight away of, hey, you can't do this. You're creating a monopoly. But because it's gaming websites, gaming journalism, and it doesn't matter. It's not treated the same way. Essentially, IGN is on the verge of creating a monopoly in the gaming journalism space, and nobody's saying boo about it. So like everybody's going, like everybody, like people like us, is sitting here going, "Wait, this isn't right. This shouldn't be happening." But like the people who can turn around and say, "Hey, you're doing something wrong. You're doing something that's anti-competitive and everything else." U.S. laws. They're just like, "Oh, it's gaming. Who cares?"
Now, let's talk about this. Really talk about this.
That's the idea.
We already know that this means there's going to be a lot of redundancy and people are going to be laid off. And we've already seen a lot of people already laid off. And I don't think some people really understand what's at stake here. So I want to paint a picture. I'm not a Picasso, but I'm trying to do my best. First, the employees at the Gamer Network were made aware that, hey, we are getting purchased. But they did not know about the layoffs. So that's one. That came to light later on today. I think Nathan Grayson reported this. So then the sale happened, and then it's like, oh, hey, by the way, we are laying off people. We don't know which ones we're laying off, but we're laying people off. One, IGN now has access to pretty much all of the gaming websites, the big gaming websites out there, with the exception of Kotaku, Polygon. I think that is it. There might be one more.
Those are the 2 main ones I can.
Giant Bomb.
Yeah.
The Giant Bomb's web. They're in a situation of their own.
Is GameSpot still a thing?
It is,
yes.
But not nearly at the same level as it used to be.
Yeah, it's not anymore. So now that they have this stranglehold on gaming journalism, you could literally have a game come out and IGN can be like, look, you give it this review, you give it this review, you give it this review, you give it this review. Doesn't make a difference if it's good or not. I'm not saying it's going to happen because I know some people IGN are really cool people, but this came from the top.
Yeah.
And it also just means a lot of people are going to lose their job. So you lose your job, you can't go back because IGN owns it. So IGN owns 5 or 6 of the places you could have went back to, but you can't now. Where are you going to go now? Where are you going to go?
Kotaku.
People.
No, because here's the problem. Gawker Media is selling off their websites left, right, and center right now. It's only a matter of time till Kotaku gets.
Kotaku was supposed to have been going. Let me put it this way: the last editor-in-chief left because they were like, "Look, I want to focus on news," and the higher ups want me to focus on lists.
Yeah,
and they bounced.
Yeah, and they have the whole guide thing going on too.
You take a look at what's currently happening in Kotaku right now. It's 95% guides. I went to try and see if they had any news, even on the Australian side, and it's swamped by guides.
They're mass-produced guides too. They're not even that good.
No, it's like they're even doing stuff from like years ago. I saw one about Final Fantasy VII original, how to get Aerith's final.
How to get a final limit break
before she carks it. And I'm like, hold on, no, that's like...
First off, who's even searching for that?
Yeah, like, game FAQs beat you to it.
Somebody had a Twitter post about what you're talking about, I think last week or so, where they're talking about a lot of these websites are now doing guides, and these guides are completely full of crap, and they're not proper.
Yep.
They're just mass-producing these guides.
Yeah. As I was doing the New Game Plus run of Stellar Blade, I looked up at a lot of guides, specifically some from Kotaku and IGN, and they were flat out incorrect.
Yeah.
They would say this certain thing is over here. You'd go over there, and it's not there. And you're like, well, you're not right. So I'd have to go to like some of those really obscure YouTube channels that just do like no commentary Let's Plays and just see where they found the certain item. And like, okay, that's where it is.
Yeah.
But the problem with that is people go there and they get that traffic, and then they go somewhere else and other places get the traffic. And the places that have actual legit guides, one, they're not getting the traffic. No. Two, people are going from the big websites to the other websites, copying their stuff and then posting it as their own.
Yep.
That is the game. I understand that is how guys work, and unfortunately how the game industry works, or gaming journalism industry works, but it sucks. I raise high hell when people steal my guys. I bust my ass off trying to make. When Elden Ring came out, and I was one of the first people to figure out a certain quest, and I put my guide up, and I saw a certain website copy it right after, I was pissed. I was heated. And I still get mad when I do a random guide or something. I just do it. And then I see a website all of a sudden do it. Like, that was just something that just came to my mind. A game that's been out for a while. Oh, hey, this is how you do something. Oh, he wrote this guy. He's going to do this now. Like, what the hell?
There's a lot of people out there who copy our shit.
It sucks. Yep. Yes, it sucks.
So for those of you who do actually constantly watch these podcasts and that, yeah, you're looking at the originators of a lot of stuff that gets stolen by a lot of other people, and they take our credit. And yet, yeah. We sit here sad because we.
But yeah, but I'm not here to talk about that. But it sucks. Don't do it, please. But
going back to the acquisition though.
Yeah, it sucks, man.
This IGN acquisition, it is literally, it gives them more power to say to publishers, hey, that game you're putting out, how about you give it to us a little bit early, but you don't give it to anybody else until release day.
Oh, don't even say that,
because not only can we put it out on IGN, we've got 17 other sites right now that we can put it out on.
Yeah.
And we can give you the biggest coverage available, and publishers will love that. They love that.
Yep.
Oh, wow. Okay, you've got 17 websites. You can bring in a couple of million hits about your early access review or whatever. So we'll give it exclusively to you, and everybody else can wait till release day.
You know, I didn't think about that, but now you said that, fucking Karl. Oh God,
I'm sorry. I see business.
that is
a business play, and by IGN having the biggest market share,
yeah,
they can use that leverage to push publishers to do exclusive access.
Yeah, no, you're right. I just hate the fact that you said it, because it's like, you know, you're right. You're right.
Yeah.
You're right. You're right. I was
hell. The other thing is, look at what you're about to go and do. You're about to go to Summer Games Fest. Guess who else is putting out their own little convention on that same goddamn weekend?
Oh yeah, that was like, oh hey, you weren't doing it all of a sudden. You know, I can't even talk about it. How certain things fell into place, and
yeah,
I can't. I'm not allowed to talk about. Oh, I can't talk about it.
There's things we can't talk about. We know.
Stay tuned. Stay tuned to the Outer Haven during Summer Games Fest weekend, where he can talk about things.
God, it sucks. But see, that's the thing right there, guys. I won't say something if I know something. I really want to say something, but I can't. But somebody, I was on a website. It was either a website today or Red. I don't remember where it was exactly. But somebody was like, so maybe this will be an increased uptick on independent gaming journalism. And I replied back and I laughed. And I was like, nope.
No, opposite.
I was like, SEO, Google's killing us in SEO and killing independent journalism. It's like, as much as we would love for this to come out to be some kind of positive thing, no, it's not. It's going to be worse now. It's going to be worse. You're going to have IGN and all of its properties. You're going to have other people who may have worked at these properties that got let go. They're going to try and go and form something like an Easy Allies or an Aftermath or something, and it's going to be another independent site that pops up. And then you're going to have them competing against the other independent sites that are already out there trying to do what they're doing right now. And because they have that personality, people you've already known for years, you're going to go, well, let me go associate myself with this website because I know these people versus these guys who I have no idea who they are, but they've been out here for XYZ. And it's going to get harder. It's going to get harder for everybody out there.
And we'll be honest, we're speaking specifically about ourselves because like all these places that pop up, like Aftermath popped up out of nowhere, but because they got Yahtzee Kershaw and all them involved, people are going there for their stuff, and yet, let's be honest, they're probably stealing our stuff. I wouldn't be surprised. But like we've been grinding this independent journalism for over 10 years, haven't we? Keith?
Longer than that.
Yeah.
We started doing it professionally or as a hobbyist, doing it professionally, whatever, since 2011. 2011.
Yeah.
Before this was the case, this started up as I used to run a video game, a music website. And the people there was like, let's do this for real. And unfortunately, the people that I started the site with are no longer with us anymore. So it's just me and my merry band of people here. So yeah, 2011, 2024 now.
13 years.
Yeah. If you paid attention to our shirts at PAX East from on YouTube, you'll see on the shoulder it says 13 years.
Yeah. 13 years. Our little site's now a teenager going through puberty.
Is 13 a teenager? Is 13 a teenager?
Technically.
Soda. Ginger ale, please.
But Yeah, like we feel sorry for all those people who got laid off as part of this acquisition, as it seems to be the thing nowadays. It's like acquire companies, cut staff.
Yeah.
Cut
all the redundancy.
Yeah. So to all those people who are suddenly without a job, best of luck finding somewhere else or creating somewhere else.
It sucks. It really does. It's
a hard time for everybody. I come straight out and say it. Fuck IGN and their attempt to try and monopolize the gaming journalism space.
No, let me back up.
Making it harder.
Let me back
for
up.
Everybody else.
Let me back up what you just said. I agree 100%. I'm not saying I don't know people there, but I agree 100%. You got to be some kind of special person to go, we already own the market share of the gaming journalism space. Let's buy up these other sites. But at the same time, not defending them, flip side, would you rather these sites go down and be lost as well?
But either way would end up in redundancies. So it's you're damned if you do, damned if you don't.
Right, because I've heard that the gaming network wasn't doing well.
Yeah. But the thing is, sometimes it's better to go down in flames than to be acquired and then thrown overboard.
Oh no, I agree. I'm just saying,
the old adage is going down with the ship more than anything, Whereas in this case, IGN came in and we're going to buy up all your entire fleet, but still, most of you are going to have to start swimming home.
That's the thing. God, that's the thing. People don't realize. The people that are okay with this don't realize they are acquiring websites that were built on the backs of people who've been there for years, who made these sites what they were.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe they get fired. Maybe some of the people that got fired were there for years, and people are like, wow, I love this person's columns. This person made great editorials. Gone.
Yep.
And where are they going to go?
And that's it. Is a lot of them that are out of jobs now. They're the ones who built the place. And people can tell when there's been a shift in staffing and especially management. Look, once again, we're going to have to bring up the K word, bring up Kotaku. Once upon a time, they were actually a half decent place to go and get your gaming news.
Yes.
Yep. Then, after a couple of, I think it was Stephen Totillo.
Yes.
Like when he left, and they started replacing him with all sorts of weird and wonderful, crazy people. The site's the focus of the site changed. It got more political. It got more about guides. It got more about clickbait articles, and now the site's a dumpster fire. That we're just waiting to see if they're either going to just push it off the edge of a cliff or whether they're going to sell it off to somebody else to try and put out the fire. It's one of those things of like these sites won't be the same.
No,
under IGN, they will all start to look and feel like IGN light, because one of the biggest things that the IGN can now do, as I said, like with the whole publisher thing, we got 17 sites that we can push our stuff out to. With that, we're do something like that. They only need one person. They don't need 17 people. They do the one person and push it out on each website. And that's horrible, because then everything just sounds the same, looks the same. There's no personality, no variety, no nothing. Which is why I always say to people, like, go to your independent sites. Hell, as much as I hate them as competition, go to your YouTube content creators, because you have people with personality.
Oh, they're having their own issues right now.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, but the thing is, instead of like IGN, if you go to like, I guarantee you, not even 6 months down the line, you go to one of the gamer website, it's gonna look and feel like IGN, because they're going to use IGN staff to write IGN style articles and just push them out of the website. Same crap, different headline or different company on the banner. Nobody wants that. You don't want to read 7 different newspapers that are written by the same people.
Yeah, it's and at the same time, and let me throw in one more thing here, and then I'll shut up because you can take it from here. This stuff also causes people to get pissed off at gaming journalism. We've already got enough people calling gaming journalists terrible. They don't care about gaming. They don't like gaming. They're only here for a paycheck. And every time I scream from the high heavens and go, look, not everybody is like that. It makes no difference. And then you have this where it could just go, oh, look.
Everybody is like that thanks to IGN.
Right. So fantastic. Great. Thanks.
Yep.
Self-fulfilling prophecy of people, apparently.
Yeah.
And for all the great people that are IGN, like Ryan McCaffrey, he's a great person. Jesus. I spoke to him a couple of times, so I know how he is. I would love to know what he thinks about this. Because you just put out his competition.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
Yeah.
It's a lot worse than people think it is. Like I told you earlier, I tried to tell my wife, and she's like, "But you can't change this. Why are you so stressed out?" I was like, "But you don't understand what is happening here. That's the problem.
Because there's still more on the horizon. It's not going to end here.
It's not going to end. They've done it once. They'll do it again.
They've done it once and got no repercussions. Therefore, they'll do it again and probably still get no repercussions.
IGN will own maybe 90% of all the gaming websites out there. Just think about that. Yes, that's just a hypothetical number. Just think about that for a second. And they can get away with it.
It'd be like, Fox News having control of 90% of news media. You hear the same opinions as 17 different mouths, and it's like
17 different flavors of all the same chocolate.
Exactly. That's exactly it.
Isn't that boring?
That's exactly it.
Yes, it is going to be boring. It's going to dilute the opinion pools, and it's going to make everything be a lot more consolidated, especially when review periods hit and everything's going to have all the same review. Everything's going to be the exact same numbers, and it's just going to not be nearly as interesting. Yes, sure, Hellblade 2's whole discourse is on fire, but I prefer kind of a fire that has some points on either side than just a fire where everybody's on one side.
I'd rather not be on fire.
just remember, thanks to IGN, everything's going to be 7 out of 10.
It's going to be too much water in everything you make.
There you go. Too much water. Never gonna
but coming next podcast, IGN are going to buy the Outer Haven.
By Spectator mode next too. Why not?
Yes, why not?
If they're buying,
I'm not going to say no, but I'm going to say yes.
It has to be a very high number that I can take care of my team. It has to be a very super duper high number so I can take care of my team.
It has to be at least 8 digits high, 8 digits long or higher. 10 million plus starting.
Oh man, it's frustrating. All right, folks.
We done.
Anything else you want to talk about before we get on out of here?
No.
Neptunia is on Xbox for the first time.
That's
forever.
Really cool,
the first time ever it's on Xbox. So that's nice.
Oof. Don't forget the Combobreaker is this weekend. It's the upcoming fighting game tournament. And we get to see some really sexy Akuma gameplay because he will be allowed to be played. That's going to be interesting. I'm going to be I'm going to have my face glued to that. I want to see that.
We may have to sit into a chat at some point and commentate the commentators.
Oh my god, I'm looking forward to that.
It's been a while since you and I, Keith, have sat in the voice chat watching some fighting game streams together.
I am always here, unless I'm watching a play.
You're always watching basketball, so you're not always.
Hey man, it's almost over. It is.
Or you're out cutting your grass, or you're out barbecuing, or Mo's got you doing something now.
I gotta cut the grass. I gotta cut the grass.
No, you don't.
Just let it grow. Do. What?
Just let it grow.
No. I won't hear the end of it.
Wait, no, hold on. No, asking your kids to cut the grass.
We tried that. It didn't work. You know, that was the whole goal. When my parents had me, they're like, so we had you so you would do things around the house and cut grass. And I was like, oh, so when I have kids, they'll do the same thing. No. It's not how that works. Fudge. Can't say what I really want to say, but yeah, I'll leave it at that. So has anybody had a chance or had any thoughts about the Marvel Rivals team? What did you call it? Team Hero 6v6 game?
Hero shooter.
Yeah. Whatever the
Marvel Overwatch.
It's pretty much.
Well, somebody said it's more than that. So
I mean, I'm sure it is more than that, but the most basic of understanding is yes, it is just Marvel Overwatch. There is probably differences, and I'm sure there are a lot more choices, especially with the power sets and everything. But at the same time, I don't know how to feel, especially because we haven't seen too much about it. Even like the alpha gameplay still feels, I want to say rough, but like it doesn't feel fully finished.
Yeah. I haven't played it myself. I've just seen like everybody else videos and stuff like that.
Yeah, I've just been looking at videos.
I do get a very big Overwatch feel out of it, and frankly, I was over Overwatch many years ago. I don't see this appealing to me at all.
I wouldn't mind
mainly because the character selection is just so weird.
It is kind of
Spider-Man's in there. Spider-Man's in there. So
I mean, if Spider-Man wasn't in there, this would be a failure. Of course, he has to be in there. Yeah. If you make a Marvel crossover game in any genre and there's no Spider-Man, are you really making a Marvel game?
But the thing is, like, and they're falling into the same problem that a lot of Marvel games do, is they're relying too heavily on the Marvel Cinematic Universe styles, looks, characters. Like, Marvel's got a very deep roster. They don't need to always have the Avengers and Spider-Man as the main headlines. Like, I saw a lot of there was a data mine came out recently, and there's so many costumes that are based on the Marvel Cinematic Universe stuff, and I'm just like, I don't want to see that. Like, there's so many classic costumes you could do, or some of the weird stuff that came out of the 90s for the X-Men or stuff like that. No, we got to make it all look like the Marvel Cinematic Universe or modern Marvel comic looks. Like,
the thing is with that, and
I know it's to appeal to the modern audience.
That's the problem. And I hate saying it. I really hate saying it.
You know who doesn't go to the fucking to the movies? You know who don't watch the TV shows? You know who don't buy the comic books and probably won't play this game? The modern audience. You know who will?
Making a
Marvel freaking diehards.
I mean, there's no way to slice it, man. I'm not trying to be devil's advocate here, but unfortunately, I agree with you.
Oh, I know. You're right, but at the same time, it's like, hey, fucking trends are trends for a freaking reason. This mythical modern audience does not actually exist. They'll complain about the game that you haven't put XYZ in it, but they'll never buy your actual game.
It's, I would love to see some obscure characters in Marvel Rivals. Oh, trust me, I would love to see them. But yeah, never will happen.
If they haven't been in a movie or a TV show, they don't care.
Does the X-Men TV show count?
97? No, because it's a cartoon. Cartoons are for kids. Even though that was not for kids.
That is not for kids. I can't imagine seeing something like that when I was a kid.
that was made for the adult fans that grew up with the 92 series.
Yes. I loved watching it, and my wife is like, who is that? Who is that? Who is that? Oh, that person. Yeah, that person. Oh, yeah.
Who's that guy at the end there with the blue mouth? Oh, have I got a story to tell you?
Oh, she knew that was. She knew that was. She knew that was Apocalypse. Oh, since we're talking about X-Men 97, this is a podcast that never ends.
Konami, redo your side scroller beat 'em up X-Men game using the 97
yes,
sprites.
please.
Go.
Unfortunately, they don't own the license.
Oh.
Yeah, it's true. Who owns the X-Men license at the moment?
Fox? No. That's a good question.
Because Disney owns the rights to the characters.
Yeah.
The video game license, it's not with EA.
Wasn't it Activision at one point?
I think so.
It used to be.
Oh,
I don't know if they still have
Sony has them.
Sony has X as Logan, Wolverine.
That's not a bad thing.
Yeah, apparently Sony has the rights to the X-Men gaming. It just can't be right.
I don't know. All the X-Men or not just Wolverine?
Apparently Sony secured the exclusive video game rights to X-Men. The exclusivity as revealed through one of the biggest data breaches in memory. Oh yeah, data breach.
Is from the data breach of Insomniac.
And publish X-Men games until 2035.
Okay.
So
you know what?
So Sony won't be doing a beat 'em up of that.
Now you know what I hate about this. Now that I found about this, so Sony has exclusive rights to publish X-Men games till 2035. So fuck you, Xbox. You ain't never getting them. Fuck you, Nintendo. You ain't never getting them.
You know what? I'm good with that because I own a PlayStation.
I'm getting really tired of that kind of stuff. I mean, God,
I don't care. Give me the games.
Give us the games.
That's the thing. If Sony was a little better at actually doing more smaller budget games with their IPs, maybe we'd care more. But the whole thing of them having the 2035 license just means they're going to get like 2 games.
Yeah,
we're going to get a game in 5 years, another game in another 5 years.
Well, we're getting Wolverine eventually,
which will probably be 2026.
Yeah. Yeah, I would love to see Insomniac take a go at Deadpool.
That would be entertaining.
Yeah, that would be pretty cool. But I would love to just see like a quick, old school side-scrolling brawler with the current X-Men 97 looks and everything involved. That'd be awesome.
But getting back to the TV show, what did you think about it? Now that it's over, now that it's done, we've seen everything. We've seen all the different arcs that they pulled from. What do you think about it?
I'm still shocked that it was that damn good.
Yeah.
And was Rogue a dick for throwing Captain America's shield?
No.
Yes and no.
No.
Yes, but I think that's just the X-Men comics always deal weird with Captain America, so they just did the same thing in the series. But that's also just because it's funny when you look at Captain America gets transitioned into Marvel Comics when it's not his own comic run. Because Captain America is always treated as like the patriotic guy whenever it's someone who isn't in his run. Whereas when you're reading a Captain America comic, he's always screw the government.
Yeah.
So it's always like it's so weird to see both of them treat him so differently. But at the same time, it's just like this is how the X-Men comics would have treated Captain America. So this absolutely makes sense for them to treat him this way.
I just love the fact that with that particular sequence with Rogue and Captain America, it was Rogue going through her grief.
Yeah.
And it showed that even one of the strongest and most skilled fighters in the Marvel universe was not enough to stop her when she's pissed off.
I mean, let's be honest. Captain America cannot beat Rogue. It's just not going to happen. He's the GOAT, but I mean, she can punch a hole through him.
Yeah.
I mean, let's talk about this. You stole my girl's powers, and now you're super powered up. And
yeah, she has Captain Marvel's powers.
If we see Miss Marvel in the next arc or the next season,
no, do not do that. Do not bring in. Look,
do it.
As much as I like Kamala Khan as a character,
I'm sorry.
She
back up. Captain Marvel, the original Miss Marvel, Captain Marvel.
Which one? We talking Karl? I can do everything.
Karl.
Danvers
or
are we
Monica?
doing Monica should be the Captain America Rambo?
Can we talk about the one superhero who kept getting her name stolen? Like, how many times you going to change your name? How many times am I going to steal my name? Yeah.
But with that series, I loved it. Like, I was shocked at just about a lot of the storylines that they pulled from, the characters introduced, like that episode 3 where they introduced Madeline Pryor, and it comes off as a horror episode. I
hated
oh
the way
my
they
god,
ended
that was
that,
brilliant.
That was great.
The ending was a bit meh, but like the rest of that episode though was friggin' brilliant, treating it like a horror film.
Yeah,
I thought that was absolutely brilliant to do.
But you took one of the most powerful characters within that universe, and the Sentinel killed her. I'm sorry, the Sentinel killed her. Do you know who
to be honest, she was caught off guard by her son appearing out of fucking nowhere.
I didn't like that. I didn't like how
you can catch a psychic off guard every now and again.
She's gone. I mean, they caught Emma Frost off guard, and she turns into diamond now.
She's a diamond.
Yeah,
that's always been her thing. But
right, but just there's so many things I like about it. There's so many things I don't like about it, and I
still say that Jubilee half episode thing was one of the stupidest ideas.
They had like a filler section in an episode.
Yeah, it was like half a filler episode.
Yeah,
I would rather have dedicated the entire episode to the life death story.
Yeah, dedicate the whole episode to the life and death storyline with Storm,
which was way too short. But again, that entire arc was way too long in the comics.
I mean, when you look at a lot of the comic arcs, a lot of them are very much longer than they need to be.
Yeah.
And I think it just goes to show how short they could actually be with how the series dedicated so many different arcs to characters
and yet
just its 10 episode run.
And yet 10 episodes didn't feel like enough.
No, it really didn't.
It did.
Like there was some like they could have done some of these storylines, extended them over another 1 to 2 episodes with some of it. Like the extinction of Genosha, I reckon should have been Aether extinction should have been 2 to 3 episodes.
Yeah.
Like to really just punch in that whole destruction.
How great Genosha is. Now the mutants don't have to feel like they're being persecuted, and just for it to be like, never mind.
And can we answer a question real quick? Can we answer one question? And I'm pretty sure everybody's thought about that. So how did Magneto get away when Leech was killed?
Leech was vaporized.
Like
you were in the same place. Like how would
Wizards? The wizard did it.
Does nobody ask that question? Like,
I asked that question, and I can find unless like Bastion teleported him out at like the last microsecond, which I don't think he could do.
No, I don't think he would have done that. I can only think of it as like because it was supposed to be at a mega level beam, which should probably go past his magneticism barrier.
Yeah. And at the same time, because Magneto was right next to Leech when it happened, so technically his powers should have been nullified.
Yeah.
And there's the geek. There's the hey, Lee, did you know that Leech nullifies people's powers? So that's why everybody's saying he's probably the most powerful because he can
it's a proximity. It's a proximity thing. It's not something he turns on and off. It's a proximity thing. There are small bits and pieces in that storytelling where you're like, okay, there's a logic gap, but you know what? I'm going to let it go because the rest of the writing is
because the rest of it is just fantastic. Yeah.
Like I'm still wondering like how the destruction of asteroid M sent them back through time of all things.
Right? How did how does
that
one work?
That it was somebody's doing too, and I wonder if they're going to either play into that or if they're just going to, for the rule of cool, we don't care.
And also like, and then the Jubilee episode. How did like if Mojo's been doing the video game thing for so long with one of the other Jubilees? Why is the start of the episode is he like skinnier than an Ethiopian child? And then after like 10 seconds of this new Jubilee and Sunspot coming into the arcade, he's suddenly back to normal. It's like, and also somebody needs to teach him the difference between video games and TV as different styles of entertainment medium.
Yeah.
So technically, the energies he's feeding off are two completely different things.
See, I think a lot of it was they counted on people who read the comics and watched the old X-Men cartoon to watch the show, but they didn't expect them to go, "Hey, that doesn't make any sense."
When you're dealing with comic book nerds, you're always going to have something where they're going to go,
always
me, but that's really how it happens.
like again, where when Jean's fighting Cable, and all of a sudden Phoenix comes out, and it's like, wait, this is the most powerful force in the universe. I'm done. I'm just going to destroy everything, remove everything off the board.
It was that she explained that was like the last ember of
it's
Phoenix.
Still the Phoenix.
Yeah, but by that point, Phoenix. Remember, they defeated Phoenix in the '92 show.
You can never defeat Phoenix.
So technically, the Phoenix spirit or whatever it is out somewhere else at that particular point in time. It's just that there was like one tiny little ember left in Jean Grey that sort of
she was out there having Thor.
Why did you have to fucking bring that up? Why? God, why?
So terrible, isn't it?
One thing I will say, especially during the Tolerance's Extinction 3-parter, it was so good to see some of the cameos.
Yeah.
To see Iron Man back in the same outfit he had in his own animated series in the time. Oh, it was good.
To see Mary Jane and Peter Parker watching
great.
I was like, wow. And
don't get me started on that, because
why?
Not only did a few episodes earlier did they show Spider-Man in New York, and they gave me hope. They've given me hope that Spider-Man 98 could be a thing until they destroyed it at the end of the Tolerance for Extinction, where they show, yes, he found Mary Jane, which was the whole crux at the end of that goddamn series in '94.
Yeah.
And yet, we're probably never going to see it now because we know now how it ends.
We're going to see flashbacks, maybe, if they do pick it up. It'll be the same. It'll be like us trying to do the whole CW Arrow thing. All the interesting stuff is a flashback.
They can actually have, maybe they'll go forward and they can actually have a kid.
I mean, that would be great if they did it like with the run of getting like Mayday involved.
Don't give me hope.
Anyway, I think we need to end this podcast. We're going a bit too far here. Going into Marvel territory here. Yeah. As always, thanks for checking out Spectrum Mode Podcast, where you can find this podcast on Amazon Podcast, Apple Podcasts, Buzzsprout, Spotify, YouTube, and wherever else you can find great gaming podcasts. As always, thanks for watching. We appreciate it. And hey, if you want to help us out on YouTube, do us a big favor and like the video and subscribe to the channel. You folks got anything to say before I go?
Yeah, you can also go to theouterhaven.net for all your news, views, reviews, and everything else to do with pop culture, video games, and everything else under the sun.
If I don't break the website first.
Happy almost Neptunia month.
All right, folks. Thanks for watching. Hey, I didn't cough this entire episode.
Hooray!
Thanks for watching, listening, or even having us on in the background.
Yep. Take care.
That's what Anya. Bye-bye.
See ya.